Hello to all my dear CA Foundation students. I hope your preparations are going amazing. And Institute has given the RTPs, and this time we have some very nice different questions in the RTPs. So let's just discuss them. I'm not going to discuss the direct questions because there's nothing to discuss there. So basically, this discussion will be all about the practical questions. So starting with Indian Contract Act, because Indian regulatory framework, obviously it's a direct question. So starting with the Indian Contract Act. Sri Shivai Temple Trust decided to get renovations of the temple under the trust. For this purpose, the president of the trust discussed the budget with contractor. The contractor provided the budget of 5 lakh. After gaining enough membership to support the funds required renovating the temple, the committee entered into contract with the contractor for renovation. The plans for the proposed structure were submitted and passed, but as the membership list increased, the plans also expanded. Hence, the expected cost was increased from 5 lakh to 7 lakh. Now, increased amount of 7 lakh stayed approved. That means the members have approved the 7 lakh and obligated by the committee and contractor. Renovation work was completed. So, first of all, so this is charity, correct? And the work was already done. And contractor demanded the payment from the committee. Meanwhile, new members who promised to contribute did not turn up. President had filed a suit against the members who promised to contribute. Members denied on the views that their contract with committee to contribute was without any consideration, hence invalid. So basically, state with reasons whether the committee will succeed. So basically, a contract without consideration is void. However, we have certain exceptions to this rule. One of this is charity. A promise to give charity is not enforceable, but on the basis of the promise, if the other person has done work, it is enforceable. Here, the members have made a promise to pay 7 lakh rupees and the work was already done. Since the liability was already incurred, the members are liable to pay. So the committee can recover the money from the members even though the contract was without consideration. Sahil deals in pre-owned cars. Raju sold his accidental car to Sahil by fraud. He sold his accidental car by fraud. So Raju sold his car to Sahil by fraud. Sahil could not find that the car was accidental, so he could not identify this. Akshay, a customer, visited the workshop of Sahil with intention to purchase a pre-owned car. Akshay informed Sahil his intention with the condition that car should be free from any accident. Sahil sold the car to Akshay on erroneously believing that the car did not face any accident. So, as between Raju and Sahil, it was fraud. But Sahil was unaware and he sold the car to A, not knowing, that is Akshay, not knowing that it was accidental. So, this is what? This is misrepresentation, correct? This is misrepresentation. Afterwards, Akshay found that the car was actually an accidental case. He sued Sahil to avoid the contract and also for damages, taking into account whether Akshay was eligible to avoid the contract and also to claim the damages. Since this contract is induced by misrepresentation, obviously the contract is voidable. So, can Akshay cancel the contract? Yes. However, as far as damages are concerned, because if it was fraud, could you claim the damages? Yes. But because this is misrepresentation, can you claim the damages? No. So Akshay cannot claim the damages. So he has a right to cancel the contract but not to claim the damages. Rahul is a manufacturer. Rahul is a manufacturer of jute bags. He contracted with Sonia to supply raw jute for the purpose of making bags. Rahul informed Sonia that production process of jute bags would start from 27/6/24, but Sonia must supply raw jute till 25/6/24 so that the quality verification can be done in next 2 days. Sonia supplied the jute on 27 and informed Rahul that she couldn't supply due to some unavoidable reason, and she also assured that the quality measures were not anyway compromised. But Rahul wanted to avoid the contract as he was not given the opportunity to examine the goods. Where the sale is made for the goods where the buyer has a right to examine the goods before accepting them. In that case, if the buyer is not given that opportunity to examine the goods, the buyer can cancel. It is performance of the contract, where in a contract date, time is mentioned for performance. You have to perform in that time. Second, when the contract is made for the sale of goods where the buyer has a right to inspect the goods before accepting them. and he's not given that opportunity, the buyer has a right to cancel the contract. So, state whether Rahul can avoid the contract. Yes. Messrs. Janta Machine Tools and Company contracted with Messrs. Ruchi Traders to make and deliver certain machinery by 31st July for 15 lakh. There was a labor strike. Now, please understand, labor strike is not supervening impossibility in the factory of Messrs. Janta Machine Tools and Company, and it could not manufacture and deliver the machinery to Messrs. Ruchi Traders. Afterwards, Messrs. Ruchi Traders had to purchase the machinery from another manufacturer for 18 lakh. So they were supposed to purchase at 15, but now they had to purchase at 18. So what is the damage here? Basically, they suffered a damage of 3 lakh. Messrs. Ruchi Trader was also prevented from performing a contract which was made with Messrs. Siksha Technologies at the time of its contract with Messrs. Janta Machine Tools and Company, and were compelled to pay compensation of 2 lakh to Messrs. Siksha Technologies. Messrs. Janta Machine Tools and Company was very well informed by Messrs. Ruchi Traders about its contract with Messrs. Siksha Technologies. So here, ordinary damage is 2 lakh, and they were also informed about the special circumstances. So, can they also claim the special damage of 2 lakh because notice was given? Yes. Messrs. Ruchi Traders sued Messrs. Janta Machine Tools and Company for recovery of compensation of 3 lakh plus 2 lakh. Can they? Yes, they can recover the 5 lakh. 3 lakh ordinary damage, 2 lakh because notice of the special loss was given. Ankit had taken a loan of 1 lakh from Kishore on the guarantee of Sudeep at the interest rate of 12%. After some time, due to financial crisis of Ankit and at his request, Kishore reduced the interest rate to 8% and also extended the time for repayment of loan without the consent of Sudeep. Ankit becomes insolvent whether Kishore can sue Sudeep for the recovery. Whenever there is a change in the term of the contract without informing the surety is discharged from his liability from the day of change of the terms, right? Here, the co-surety was not informed. I'm so sorry. Here, the surety was not informed about the change of the terms. There was a change in the rate of interest as well as extension of time. Since there was also an extension of time, he's completely dissolved from his liability. So, no, he cannot recover anything. So, if you remember any change in the terms of the contract, right? Or where the principal, debtor, and creditor extends the time of payment without informing the surety is discharged. So, here he cannot recover any money from Sudeep. Moving on to Sale of Goods Act. Ram Vilas Yadav is a farmer. Anna Chips Company approached him. Anna Chips Company approached him and entered into a contract to supply 100 quintals of potatoes, which to be grown in the fields belonging to Ram Vilas Yadav. To be grown. They were going to sell 100 quintals of potatoes, which are to be grown. That means what? This is future goods, right? At 1,000 per quintal. Anna Chips Company made the payment of price, but delivery to be made after 6 months. Because obviously the goods are not there. Before the time of the delivery, the whole crop of potatoes was destroyed due to flood. First of all, who is the owner here? Please understand this is future goods. And in case of future goods, the ownership is transferred only after the goods are actually manufactured, produced, whatever. Here, they are saying before the time of delivery, and they had made a contract that delivery will take place after 6 months. That means ownership will transfer after 6 months when the delivery is made. Before the delivery was made, the whole crop was destroyed. Anna Chips Company demanded the payment of price which is already made by it. Ram Vilas Yadav denied returning the price by saying that the contract of sale was already entered and hence crop belongs to Anna Chips. Crops do not belong to Anna Chips because the crops are future goods and the goods do not even exist. So when the goods do not exist, how can the ownership transfer? So here, hence the loss must be borne by it. So who will bear the loss? The loss has to be borne by Ram Vilas Yadav and he has to return the money paid by Anna Chips. So can they recover the amount? Yes. Kapil entered into a contract with Rahul to purchase 1,000 liters of mustard oil at a price which should be fixed by Akhilesh. Rahul already delivered 600 liters out of 1,000 liters, but while the remaining 400 was ready to deliver, Akhilesh denied fixing the price of the oil. Rahul asked Kapil to return the oil already delivered and avoid the rest 400. Kapil sued Rahul for non-delivery. As far as this contract is concerned, when the price is to be fixed by a third party and the third party refuses to fix the price, for the contract which is already performed, the contract is valid. For the rest of the contract is what? Void. For this 600 liters, contract is valid, and Kapil has to pay a reasonable price. For the rest 400, the delivery is not to be made. Kapil sued Rahul for non-delivery. Can he do that? No. Advice in the light. So Kapil cannot sue Rahul for the non-delivery of the 400. However, for the 600, he is liable to pay Rahul a reasonable price. Saurav purchased electric scooter of Vivek for 5,000 only on gunpoint. Vivek decided to file the complaint and avoid the contract on the basis of coercion applied against him by Saurav. But before they could do that, Saurav sold the scooter to Vinay, who had no idea about the situation on which the scooter was purchased by Saurav. Vivek sued Saurav and Vinay for recovery of scooter, referring to the provisions of the sale. Okay, so what really happened here was Saurav, Vivek, so Vivek was ordered to sell his scooter to Saurav, and this was done by coercion. So the contract was what? Voidable, right? Now, before the contract could be cancelled, Saurav goes and sells off the scooter to Vinay. He sells off the scooter to Vinay. When a person has the possession of the goods under a voidable contract and before the contract is cancelled, sells it to a bona fide purchaser, right? Saurav sold the scooter to Vinay, who had no idea about the situation on which the scooter was purchased by Saurav. So Vinay is an ignorant party. He's a bona fide purchaser. The sale is valid. So now Vivek sued Saurav and Vinay for the recovery of the scooter. Can he recover the scooter from? No. From Saurav. From Vinay. No. The sale is absolutely valid. When a person has the possession of the goods under a voidable contract and before the contract is cancelled, sells it to a bona fide purchaser, the sale is valid. Amit and Ajay started a business of wholesale trading of sugar. For this purpose, they contributed 3 lakh and 1 lakh respectively. The deed was perfectly prepared, but clause regarding share of profit was not mentioned in the deed. Due to heavy rain, stock of sugar was spoiled and firm incurred a loss of 60,000. Amit asked Ajay to contribute equally to the loss, but Ajay agreed to contribute only 25% in the capital ratio. Referring to the provisions, how much is Ajay liable to contribute to the firm's loss? When the agreement does not speak anything about the profit sharing ratio, the profit sharing ratio is what? Equal. It is not capital ratio. So even though capital ratio is 3:1, profit will be shared in the ratio of 1:1. So he is liable to contribute equally to the loss. State with reason whether the following are partnership. X, Y, and Z agree to divide the profits equally, but the loss, if any, shall be borne by X alone. Is it partnership? Yes. We can have partners who do not bear the losses, and it's absolutely valid. X, a publisher, agrees to publish a book at his own expense, written by Y, and to pay Y half of the net profit. Does this create a relationship of partnership between X and Y? No. He is just giving, when he is paying half of the net profit, he's just paying the net profit. That means what is just giving a royalty. He is going to bear it at his own expense. Expenses also have to be shared equally. This is not partnership. A and B purchase a tea shop and incur additional expenses for purchasing utensils, etc., each contributing half of the total expenses. The shop is leased out on daily rent, which is divided between. Okay, rent is not considered as partnership. Renting of property is not considered as business and it's not partnership. So is it a partnership between A and B? No. Okay, so these are all direct questions. I'm not going into the direct questions part. Companies Act. Ratanmal Milk India Limited is a public company and formed on 1/1/23. On this date, Sharman was appointed as a legal advisor of the company. It was mentioned in the Articles of Association of the company that Sharman will not be removed from the post of legal advisor till 31/3/27. On 1/7/24, a special resolution was passed for the alteration in the articles and Mr. Sharman was removed from the company. He filed a suit against Ratanmal Milk India Limited for removal as legal advisor. Whether can the company remove Mr. Sharman? When we talk about articles, the articles bind the company to the members. right? The articles bind the company to the members, and the right to bind the company to the members is only in the capacity of a member. The articles will not bind the company to the outsiders. Here, Sherman was appointed as a legal advisor, and it was mentioned that he'll be a legal advisor till 31/3/27. But here, Sherman is an outsider, and anything given in the articles will not bind the company to the outsiders, right? If you remember effect of what you say, the MOA and AOA, it binds the company to the members, it binds the members to the company, but it will never bind the company to the outsiders. Here, on 1/7/24, he is removed. The company can at any given point of time decide to remove him as a legal advisor, and he will have no remedies. The articles can be altered by passing a special resolution. So is he referring to the provisions whether they can remove? Yes, they can remove. XYZ Limited was incorporated to hold the patent for a new product. The company is expecting to start its commercial production within the next 2 years. In the meanwhile, for timely installation, the company has placed the purchase order for plant and machinery with a down payment of 1 crore. Can they acquire the status? Okay. A dormant company means a company which has no significant accounting transactions. What is significant accounting transaction? Anything other than this four. What is this for? Payment of fees to the registrar, payment to fulfill the requirement of this act or any other act, subscription allotment of shares to fulfill the requirement of the act, and any expense for maintenance of office and records. Purchasing plant and machinery does not fall under any of this four head. So it is a significant accounting transaction. And since it is a significant accounting transaction, I repeat again, since it is a significant accounting transaction, company cannot get the status of a dormant company. Priyansh purchased some goods from Sumit. He issued a check to Sumit for the sale price. Sumit presented the check in his bank, and his bank informed him on 19/6/23 that the check was returned unpaid due to insufficiency of funds. Sumit sued against Priyansh under section, state with reasons whether this suit is maintainable. Okay. So under section 138. So as per section 138, if a check has been dishonored due to insufficiency of funds, the holder has a right to sue the drawer of the check for the dishonor of check. However, before I can sue, there are a few conditions which has to be fulfilled. First of all, it should be for a lawful debt. Second, here it is for lawful debts only, right? And second, the check should be presented within time, which was done. But before I can file a case against him, the day the banker informs me about the dishonor, within 30 days from that day, I should give him a notice that, look, I have received a notice that your check has been dishonored. Once that notice is given, so here he got an intimation on 19/6/23. So by 18/7/23, he should give a notice to the holder. Who is the holder? Priyansh. That, look, your check has been dishonored. Right? Your check has been dishonored. So I repeat again, by 18/7/23, Sumit should give a notice to Priyansh that your check has been dishonored. Once this notice is given, if within 15 days Priyansh pays, well and good. If he doesn't pay, then we can file a case against him. So with this, we are done with all the practical questions. I hope your studies are going great. Keep learning, keep studying, keep writing answers. You know how important it is. Happy learning and stay motivated.